Om 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 Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahma Nidhaye Vasishtaya Namo Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Vande Guru Paramparam. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. We are going through a brief summary of all the 18 chapters. Today we begin with chapter 1. What did Arjuna do? Arjuna didn't come to the war to fight. He came to understand. Today we will walk into Kurukshetra with him, not to fight others, but to face our own mind. The enemy is not outside. The essence of the Bhagavad Gita, the enemy is not outside. It is in our own mind. And when the enemies of the mind are conquered, man jeete, jag jeete. So we will go through the chapter 1. Why is chapter 1 so important? Even though the Shankara Bhashya, there is no Bhashya written on chapter 1, because it is all about Arjuna Vishada Yoga. The grief of Arjuna, the sorrow of Arjuna has been expressed in the whole chapter. Chapter 1 is not about the war. It is about Vishada, the collapse before clarity. Before sometimes we get clear about something, our mind is worked up to a frenzy. Our mind is worked up to a lot of confusing and conflicting thoughts that we just drop everything. We hold our head and put our head down. We may cry. We may be so confused. It may be so painful. We don't know what to do. When the mind becomes like a mishmash of potatoes which are mashed together, the mind has got such a kind of the mushy and mushy mind has gathered itself together like punched potatoes or potatoes and tomatoes mixed together, and whatever it is of that color and difference. There is no clarity in the thought in the mind. That was Arjuna's condition. So the 18 chapters is the full journey of the mind from confusion to clarity. The chapter 1 is a problem stated for Arjuna. What is the scene of chapter 1? There are two sides of the army, the Pandavas side and the Kauravas side. And on the side of the Pandavas, which refer to the side of Dharma or the righteous action, is Krishna. Krishna is a charioteer. What is the job of a charioteer? He is the one who drives the chariot. The owner of the chariot decides a destination, where to go, and the charioteer's job is to just guide the chariot to that destination. And that role of a charioteer, Krishna is playing. What is a pulse pointing in chapter 1? What is Dhritarashtra's question? Dhritarashtra is a blind king. That's how the whole Bhagavad Gita starts. We concluded with that first verse. We will see that first verse today. Dhritarashtra uvacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Mamakav Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra is blind. He's a king. He's a king who is greater than the Pandavas and the Kauravas. For both sides, he's the king of the whole country. And the Pandavas are his brother's children. The brother is no more. So when a brother is no more and he is the caretaker of those children, of a bigger uncle, if he is compassionate, he will take care of the other children as his own children. But Dhritarashtra is not like that. Even though there seems to be some goodness in him, his what is that called? His love and his side is towards his own sons. He says Mamakaha. When he refers to his sons, he says my children, my sons, and Pandava, the other person's sons. Kim akurvata, what did they do, O Sanjaya? Dhritarashtra is asking. So that is the main part of the first chapter, the beginning. And then what happens? We see Duryodhana is running to his master. And Sanjaya is narrating the scene of the battle to Duryodhana, and he sees an agitated Duryodhana running to his master. He's telling his master, he's telling his teachers, Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. He's complaining to his Acharya that Drupada is your student, and see where he's standing now. He's standing in the opposite army. Pashya, oh teacher, see what's happening. Like that small boy who's complaining to his teacher about his enemies, about the people who are fighting with him. He said, your student only, teacher. Sir, look there, look that side. Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum. Such a big army he has gathered to fight whom? To fight you. Duryodhana is trying to gather. When you point out to somebody that the enemy is common, he don't think he's fighting me, he's fighting you also. He's telling his teacher. And what does it show? It shows when you are not on the side of dharma in life, your nervous system will be very shaky because there is no scope for survival. The nervous system can survive only with the mind and the intellect which is in tune with consciousness. When the mind and intellect in tune with consciousness, there is tremendous power and the body will follow through. When the mind is on the side of the body does not have the power to be in tune with consciousness. And so the mind will be very weak. That is what Duryodhana's mind is all about. And he's listing all the people of he's listing all the names of the people on their side of the army. And he's trying to calculate the enemy's strength, which is also a sign of weakness. When we want to succeed in something, we have to calculate our strengths and not mind the other person's weaknesses. Maybe we should just know, but we should focus on our strengths. Only then we will win. But Duryodhana is very nervous. He's very tense because he knows for sure that failure is certain in this war. And he is not able to manage it on his own. He is running to his teacher for help. Now his grandfather Bhishma is there. Bhishma, even though his sympathies are on the side of the Pandavas, he has eaten the salt of Duryodhana's house. And so he is obliged to be on the side of Duryodhana. And so he fights. Even though both of them are their grandchildren, like Vidura, he could also have gone out. But he chose to fight on the side of Duryodhana. And he is the head of the army. Seeing Duryodhana is so tense and so helpless, he is running about. Bhishma, he blows his conch. And then suddenly, in the whole atmosphere is full of the sound of conches. What are the conches of the side? Only when it is not everybody's things that are used are going to be taking a place in history. It is only the great leader. It is only the successful master. It is only the glorious person. His things are being described. Whenever you see any Mahatma, their spectacles, their walking stick, their pen, the shoes, the socks, the watch that they used, everything will be kept and preserved for display in some museum or some place. Everybody, we also wear watch, we also wear spectacles, we also wear some Buddha's tooth is there. Tooth relic of Buddha is there in Dalada Maligawa temple in Sri Lanka and Kandy. Buddha's tooth is kept there as a relic. Everybody has tooth falls. Our tooth are not kept as relics. But why are those people's objects kept? Because they lived a very exemplary life. So in the same way, everybody's conscious are not being named here. Panchajanyam Hrishikeshaha Devadattam Dhananjayaha Poundram Dadmau Mahashankham Bhimakarma Vrukodaraha Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha Nakulas Sahadevascha Sughoshamani Pushpakau. These are all the names of conscious, and they have their meanings also. Very meaningful the names are. And all the names are listed here in this Mahabharata in the Bhagavad Gita. And as the conscious are sounded, we get into, there is a big ghosha. Saghosho dhartarashtranam hridayani vyadarayat nabhascha prithvim chaiva tumulo vyanunadayan. So, the conscious, each one announces their identity before what? Whenever we begin an action, what is the identity that we announce? Because the success of our action depends on our identity. If I want to play the flute well, I announce my identity. I am a great flute player. And then even if I'm practicing, I will start playing very well. If I'm going to write an article, I announce my identity. I am a great writer who's sitting to write this article. It is not about bragging about yourself. But if you want to do the work very well, announce your identity. Whoever you are, for whatever purpose you're doing it, make an announcement of that. So the same way these conches are all being blown, and then Arjuna is asking. What is Arjuna asking? He is like, Arjuna for a moment, till that time, he was very calm, he was very composed, he was ready for the war. But the moment all the sounds of conscious blew, there must have been a tremendous disturbance in his mind. It would have raised different sounds in his mind, and that could have caused a deep concern within him. A deep kind of, when you are faced with the reality, when you are faced with the need that you have to do action now, this is the last moment, the call to act is there. The call for action is there. There is all the conscious all about. They're all a call to act. And there are multiple calls for action. They're also blowing. These people are also blowing in a war. And everybody's conch will carry the vibrations of that person. If they're an angry person, there'll be an angry vibe. If they're a hateful person, there'll be a hateful vibe. Jealous person will have jealous vibe. Good person will have a good vibe. Calm person will have a calm vibe. So many mixture of vibes are all heard there. It is just like all the signals of All India Radio. When they come into our radio set, there will not be any music or there will not be any news. There will be a jam of sounds, and that is called static, which will not be very clear at all. So Arjuna is experiencing such a static in his mind, and then he's a great archer, a great warrior. He would have discovered that his body is failing. He is not able to take decisions clearly. That is what is happening in the first chapter. And he tells Krishna, please park my chariot in between the two armies. Let me see, like when there is utter chaos and you have to gather yourself and get up. You just get up now. Tell me what I should do. What should I do? What is the work that needs to be done? Because there's a call from too many people. Too many things are happening on all sides. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, please park the chariot in between the two armies. Let me see whom am I going to fight. And Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Arjuna is asking, Arjuna uvacha senayorubhayor madhye ratham stapaya mechyuta yavadetan niriksheham yodhukaman avasthitan kairmaya saha yodhavyam अस्मिन् रणसमुद्यमे योत्स्यमानानवेक्षेऽहं य एतेऽत्र समागताः. And he says, Dhartarashtrasya durbuddheः yuddhe priyachikeshavaः. He concludes that everybody on the side of the Dhritarashtras or of durbuddhi, they do not have the right thinking. And let me first see who are all the people who are very eager to fight, he says. And now Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra, he is conveying this, that Bhagavan Shri Krishna is there and he is stopping the chariot between the two people. And he is telling Arjuna, Pashya eva mukto krishikeshaha gudakeshena bharata senayorubhayor madhye sthapayitva rathottamam. He is telling Dhritarashtra, none other than Bhagavan Shri Krishna is on the side of Arjuna. And Shri Krishna is listening to the commands of Arjuna. When you are sitting behind on the charioteer is almost a servant. And in fact, to give communication, it is like how we press the accelerator and the clutch. We press it with our leg, especially the accelerator. When we want to give it when we want to increase the speed, we press the accelerator with our foot. In the same way, in the battlefield on the chariot, the one who is sitting on the chariot, the master of the chariot, will touch the charioteer with his leg and have to give the commands about speeding up or slowing down or whatever. And that is the condition where Arjuna has, that is the condition which Krishna has accepted in the battlefield for the sake of Arjuna. And Sanjaya, who wants to stop the war, even though he is loyal to Dhritarashtra, being his minister, his desire is the war should not happen. And so he is trying to give Dhritarashtra that feeling that this is what is happening. Krishna is on the side of Arjuna. And Uvacha, Krishna is telling Partha, Uvacha, Pashya etan, Samavetan Kuruniti. Pashya, see all these people, Arjuna. Krishna is telling Arjuna, see all these people. And then where does he, he does not stop the chariot before Dushasana and Duryodhana. If he stops that, Arjuna would not have got any kind of a remorse at all about fighting the war. He would have gone ahead and finished everything. Whatever he needed to do, he would have done. But Krishna was very intelligent. He wanted Arjuna to think. He wanted Arjuna to contemplate. He wanted Arjuna to bring out all the confusions that are there in his mind. The confusion about whether I want to fight this war, whether I really need to fight this war, whether this is necessary at all. What are the consequences of this war? Before we do an action, எண்ணி துணிவது கர்மம் துணிந்த பின் எண்ணுவது என்பது இழுக்கு, says Thiruvalluvar. Before we begin a work, we have to think about the work. And after we finish the work, tuninda pin, after we get into the work, it is very degrading to think about, oh my God, why did I do this? So what did Arjuna see there? Tatra pashyat sthitan partha pitrunatha pitamahan acharyan matulan bhratrun putran pautran sakim statha tatra apashyat. Then this Arjuna saw, what did he see? Pitrun. He saw his ancestors. He saw his grandfathers, pitamahan, grandfathers. He saw them. Acharyan, he saw his teachers. Matulan, he saw his uncle. He saw his brothers. Putran, he saw people who are all equal to his sons in age and his grandsons in age. Sakim statha, he saw many of his friends in the enemy ranks. And he saw his uncles, he saw his in-laws, he saw so many of his relatives there. And seeing all of them, what happens? Arjuna's mind was overtaken with pity. He was overtaken with compassion, because only then the brutality of the war, the cruelty of the war, the end result of the war is hitting him. Like, really, when reality shows up at our door, that is when, whenever we go through the real messy situations in life, we don't need to be worried, because it is a sign that reality has shown up in the door, at our doorstep. It is right in front of us. So Arjuna is taking a look at reality. Reality means life is striking hard at him right now. And what happens to Arjuna? Kripaya paraya vishtaha. He is overcome with supreme kripa. Arjuna is telling he is overcome with pity, self-pity, kripa. Arjuna sees teachers, he sees friends, he sees family, and what happens? He loses his power to fight. He drops the Gandhiva. Kripaya paraya vishtaha. Vishidan nidam abravit. Then he is talking. I am saying, he is saying, Sattva is being steady in dharma. Rajas is moving along with sattva and being steady in dharma and doing the necessary action. Tamas is putting down everything and saying, I can't do, I won't do. Arjuna says, I'm confused. He is very honest with his state of mind. He is not mincing words with Krishna. Moha yasi, like my mind is very confused, he says. Moha means when the I thought completely gets covered with the body, and the body overpowers the I thought. The body thought overpowers the I thought. Then the I thought will see only through the body thought, and everybody will seem only physical. Nothing will be immaterial, or nothing will be spiritual after that. That is Arjuna's problem. He says, I am confused. And he honestly agrees to that. And then he says towards the end, I want to surrender to you. He drops the Gandiva and he falls on his knees at the feet of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. That we will come in the next chapter tomorrow when we see. So, Arjuna, the sight of Arjuna, like, just imagine if we are there in Arjuna's place. What is he saying? Drishtve mam swajanam Krishna. Just imagine you are standing in Arjuna's place and you are ready to fight. You are ready to kill. You are ready to take the bow and the arrow, and you're going to shoot the arrow and you're going to kill. And you see your grandson with whom you played. You see your son, somebody equal to your son, with whom you played, with whom you sent to school, whom you taught. What thoughts will come when the thought that that person is going to die after this arrow is shot? What thoughts will come in our head? Is it so easy? We are just saying, what is the big deal? Arjuna has fought so many battles. What is this battle? Why is he so confused? And all this drama. Just like our recently, K. Annamalai, the founder of the We the Leaders, before he quit the Bharatiya Janata Party, he spent some 3 days, 4 days. He met Amit Shah, the Home Secretary. Then he was very lucky enough to get appointments with all of them. Everybody is not so lucky that when they say they want to go, the resignation letter will be accepted and they will be let to go. But only if you have really put in a lot of effort and put in a lot of energy and enthusiasm into your work, people will think twice before letting you go. And that is what happened. He went and met Amit Shah. He went and met Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We don't know what they spoke. But what was all the meetings all about? If there was no confusion in his mind, he would not have waited at all. He need not have seen anybody. There was a last minute attempt to convince, to discuss, to see the possibilities of how things can work. And when the worst comes worst, when nothing works, then afterwards finally take the final decision. It is the same situation that Arjuna was in. Drishtvemam swajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupasthitam sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishusyati. Whatever confusions we have, whatever emotions we have, they are reflected in our body. Today, the cognitive behavioral therapy says, is there a shrinking of the face? Is there a caving in of the chest? Is the shoulders drooping? Is there butterflies in the stomach? Is there an emptiness in the pit of the stomach? Is there a shaking of the hands? What is happening in the body? When you want to know what thought you are having, you see which part of the body is speaking. What is the tension? What is the stress? What is the anxiety? And in which part of the body is showing up? You will know where the thoughts are and what the problematic thoughts are. Drishtvaimam swajanam Krishna, yuyutsvam samupasthitam, sidanti mama gatrani, my body is sweating. Mukham cha parishusyati, everything is becoming dry. Vepathushya sharire me, sidanti, I'm getting, one moment. My limbs are failing, my mouth is parched, the body is quivering and shaking. Mukham cha parishusyati, vepathushya sharire me, roma harshasya jayate. This roma harsha or a horripilation is not out of, it is a horripilation happens when the prana inside, it's called the ahamkara, the prana inside stretches itself and fills the whole system, the whole sukshma sharira, the subtle body expands really, and the skin is all able to feel that prana, and that is when we experience horripilation. Vepatushya sharire me roma harshascha jayate. Gurudev describes it as anxiety neurosis, delirium tremens, seeing my kinsmen gathered here anxiously determined to fight, my limbs shiver, etc. All these symptoms are described in the textbooks of modern psychology as anxiety neurosis, says Gurudev. And physically also he is letting go. When our mind is unstable, when we are restless, we cannot hold a pen and write properly. We cannot hold a cup in our hand. The cup falls from our hand. We cannot hold the vessel properly. We cannot hold anything steadily. The hand shakes and the object falls from our hand. That is Arjuna's condition. What a great warrior he was, but what condition he was moved to after that. Vepatushya sharire, not only his mind is unsteady, agitated and chaotic, but it has lost all its morale. When all this happens, what happens? A prana comes out of the body. It leaves the body. The prana leaves the body when common sense is not there, when we have thrown all common sense to the winds, and there is no way we are leading the body towards safety, leading the body towards comfort, and leading the body towards confidence. The prana will finally give way. It'll support us only as long as we are doing something that is close to protecting the body. If we are doing something that is going to abandon the body, when we are abandoning the body, the prana will also abandon. And that is what has happened to Arjuna. It has come down to such a stupid level of accepting and recognizing superstitious omens, portending disastrous failures. And because he is not knowing the condition in which he is in, it is a delirium tremens or something wrong thinking is going on in his mind. He is thinking that everything is wrong with the world. He is seeing all bad omens. And the omens all point out that this is not the right time for war. Victory will not happen. He is thinking about the victory in the war. And so, what is the call to action in chapter 1? Call to action means every chapter awakens in us something. Get up and do something about it. Not just listen to the Bhagavad Gita. What am I going to do? Where in your life are you experiencing vishada or grief right now? What is the area in your life where you are experiencing grief? What bow have you dropped? Meaning, what is the job that you are taking up in your hand and you are steadily doing? And when some grief and some thought about some person or situation or object came, which is not according to the way you want it to be, you were overpowered by that thought and you dropped the action that you were doing. Where in your life that has happened? This is a question we can ask ourselves. We can hold space for each other here. This need not, these 18 days, having gone through the whole of the Holy Gita throughout these 70 days, these 18 days will be a relaxing cruise towards August 3, the Mahasamadhi day of Pujya Gurudev. So we are going to really enjoy this satsanga. It is not going to be I have to finish this satsanga. It will be for a brief while. We will ask these questions with each other. What are we going to do? What is the place where I'm experiencing grief in my life right now? and what bow have I dropped? Before we go to sleep tonight, you can sit for 2 minutes like Arjuna. This is a meditation. Just sit quietly. You can ask yourself, what am I not feeling willing to fight for anymore? What is that battle which I've been holding on in my life that I don't have the energy to take it forward anymore? What is the anger that I've been holding on within towards whom that I don't want to carry anymore? I just want to drop it. I want to keep that anger down. I want to be free. What is that hatred that I've been carrying within me towards whom and for what situation and what purpose that I don't want to carry any longer? There is no need to carry anger. There is no need to carry hatred. There is no need to carry jealousy. There is no need to carry greed. There is no need to carry frustration. There is no need to carry stress. There is no need to carry anxiety. What is that anger? What is that anxiety? What is that grief? What is that frustration? What is that jealousy? What is that holding on to my own self? I want to succeed. What is the desire for success that I'm holding on to? That I really don't want to fight for anymore. Let whatever happens, happens. Why should I fight for it? I will just give up. What is it that we have in our minds? It's a nice question that we can ask before we go to sleep tonight. And write it down, write that question down. Be with that question. Stay with that question. And this question has got no answers. But the mind is held steady with a question. And with that question, we will be steady today. We will go through we will just ponder over the Gita. And tomorrow when we meet for chapter 2, we will get the same clarity that Arjuna began to get when Krishna was talking about the knowledge of life. What is life? And what do we need to fight for? What do we need to drop? All this we will see tomorrow. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Bole Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Har Namah Parvati Pataye. Hara Hara Mahadeva. Hari Om. Thank you.